Okay, so this is a video I wanted to watch. This is, I don't know, it's gonna be very different because this is like getting into the true crime of YouTube.
Uh,
Yeah, but this is different from all the other videos that I've seen. There's a lot of them that use like AI in their thumbnails. Most of them using AI voiceover and subtitles. So this is the insane crimes, injuries, and deaths of influenced by diretrip. It'll be all linked in the description, by the way. I don't think we'll be having a good time watching this.
We live in an era where influencers, or at least people who want to be influencers, will do almost anything to get views. In a world where online content is a dime a dozen, it becomes very difficult, nearly impossible, to build an individual, distinguishable presence online. This is even more true when it comes to short-form content. When people are really
Yeah, I do think that short form content has really changed how people grow because like way back
oh
then,
yeah,
like you would actually just see videos on your homepage on YouTube and then like that's how you get to know these people.
that's how most people grow now. Just spam YouTube Shorts and just live off that.
Yeah, including streams which I'm trying to do, post clips. The whole cloud thing, like nah, that ain't it. Like what I've seen online is just quite literally just people harassing employees in a business. And that's
Yeah,
just
exactly. It's just people being cunts.
yeah. What an asshole.
Yeah,
realistically only
right.
going to watch for a couple of seconds before they simply swipe on to the next video, that only gives the creator a mere couple of seconds to build an identity and garner a sub. In an environment like this, it's no wonder that people will do anything for clout or views. Whether it's doing something insanely dangerous, something controversial, or just something plain stupid, people are more willing than ever to move forward if it might get their name out there. First, let's start with the story of the butterfly injection. It wasn't too long ago that a teenage boy really made waves on the internet for attempting what has only been described as one of the most strange things anyone has tried to do for social media. While it has been debated on if he was trying to attempt some sort of online challenge, many haven't been able to find any sort of
What?
challenge that really fits the bill. This means
Yeah,
What does he mean
it's
by that?
it's a challenge, man. Like the cinnamon challenge or the ice and salt challenge.
Inject butterfly become a challenge. I don't know what it was. I think it was like a TikTok or something where it's like a Snapchat caption. It'd be like y'all gonna be the first to ever see like some completely random string of
Oh yeah,
things.
yeah. I remember those.
Like that's what I kind of thought. Like it's just yeah, I'll just make something up. It'll just be a challenge. Like
Pretty
what
is
does
much.
that
this
he
mean?
pretty likely came up with the idea himself and was filming it
Yeah.
completely of his own volition. A 14-year-old boy in Brazil, Davi Nunez Moreira, decided he would crush up a dead butterfly, put it into a syringe, and inject the whole thing into a vein in his leg. He went to the pharmacist to get some supplies, buying a syringe. He then picked up a dead butterfly, crushed it up, mixed it into some water, and prepared to inject it. He jabbed it into his leg and injected a large portion of the concoction. Immediately, he began to feel sick and struggled to walk in any capacity.
What the
Afterwards, his
fuck?
symptoms became more severe as he couldn't stop vomiting. Once his father realized that something was wrong, he took him out to the hospital. Here, Davi still didn't want to admit what he had done. Davi remained in the hospital as the doctors were confused as to what had even gone wrong with him, having very little information to go on. Thus far, Davi had only told his father that he had hurt himself while roughhousing outside.
Okay, well I think that's where it all went wrong. Like I mean, the
Yeah.
doctor's job is there to help, and you need to help them figure out like what went wrong, what you did. Like it's all gonna go
Yeah,
down
like
from there.
the hell you do, why you like this?
Yeah.
However, as things got more dire, he finally opened up to what he had really done. He told his father that he had injected himself with a butterfly for a video. His father later found the syringe he had used hidden under a pillow at their home. Davi admitted to the hospital staff what he had done as well. It was said that his experience in the hospital was pure agony, and after an agonizing 7 days, he ultimately passed away. Unfortunately, even by then, the doctors weren't really sure what to do about such an unprecedented injury. They weren't even sure what had actually killed him. They said that it could have been an embolism from the air left inside the syringe, it could have been an allergic reaction, possibly an infection, or something else entirely. The hospital staff is also exploring the possibility that the toxins from the mixture might have sent him into septic shock. However, they're still in the dark, with staff saying, "We don't know how he prepared this mixture or the size of the fragments he managed to inject into his body." The local police are now hoping.
Wouldn't like the type of like insect also depict on like what would happen?
Yes.
So like they probably don't know what butterfly was it. Could be like something like venomous. There's even like a venomous butterfly.
I think I think there's some poisonous ones, but I don't think so.
Like Jesus.
But just anything, yeah, I feel like that just end up fucking. I doubt he knew how to use a syringe, so he just kind of injected a shit ton of air into his veins and.
Like I don't think it was worth anything at all.
Nah.
Yeah, like what would you even gain out of that? I know people say it a lot when it comes to stupid shit, but like what?
Hoping that the autopsy will confirm a cause of death. Either way, however, it's still far too late for Davy. Now, how about the story of a man who was setting fires for clout? When it comes to some content, the type of material you cover is a bit harder to predict. That was very true for a man named Joshua Christian Stanley Jackson from Maryland. Known as _pullover on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, Joshua had a channel that mainly consisted of emergency response teams working in real time. The problem is, Joshua couldn't really predict when and where his content would take place and still get there on time to get the whole thing on camera. After all, it's not like the police were really going to inform him of any ongoing situation before they headed out. So little did anyone know, Joshua was fudging things just a little bit behind the scenes. That meaning he was starting a lot of these fires and then calling the police so he could film their response. On Monday, February 22nd, 2025,
Just commit crimes and then what? Film what emergency
Yeah,
would do?
film what they do, pretty much. Just burn a house down and fucking be like, yeah, there's a house fire. I totally didn't start it, but I'm gonna sit here and record you guys.
Yeah, it like sounds like home. Like I remember last year, I saw like just smoke from the back of my yard, and it's literally just kids starting fires. She's probably just doing it for fun, or cloud. I have no
Most
idea.
likely. Probably
Yeah,
just doing it for fun. Knowing this town, probably just doing it for fun.
yeah, fucking dumbass.
Joshua was doing just that. On Crane Highway at around 8:30 p.m., Joshua set fire to a small house and called 911 just as he usually did.
Oh god, is that the
He
house?
just did it to a house.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what?
What the fuck?
Yo,
I hope
I
it
thought
was
it was
that
like,
house because it's
yeah,
straight up abandoned.
yeah. I thought he was going to like a forest or something. Like, no, that's he just did straight up to a house.
Mm-hmm.
Joshua, in one of his posts, said that he was working DoorDash that night, came across the fire on the side of the highway by pure coincidence, and decided to call the police. Well, the police and firefighters quickly came to realize that this fire had been set deliberately. Seeing that the man who called in the fire was known for filming an oddly high amount of these scenes in real time, they immediately came to suspect that he was likely behind it. Not only did they find that Josh wasn't working DoorDash that night, but they found that he was also the one who called to report at least 3 other fires within the last few months. Joshua was then nabbed and brought in for questioning. He quickly, openly admitted that he had set the fire. He told the investigators that this was his side gig and he had made some fairly good money from his channel up until this point. So he started the fire in that abandoned house that night, feeling it would be a pretty safe bet for some content. Josh was then charged with causing a false fire alarm, malicious burning, and second-degree arson. He was thrown into the Charles County Detention Center without bond. He's now being investigated in several more arson cases in different neighboring cities. Shortly after his arrest, all of Josh's videos, channels, and most of his social media accounts aside from Facebook were quickly deleted.
And he did that for money.
Yep.
I don't think it was worth anything at all. Like, what? You do that on the internet. Like, how much money are you getting out of that?
He said he got a decent amount, so probably a decent amount.
No, I still doubt it. Like, what the fuck? He's committing arson for views?
Yeah.
Sometimes you have cases that are just plain weird, like this one where a woman was peeing on produce for the views.
Okay, well, I have heard of that. What the fuck?
What is this, an OnlyFans?
No, I don't think it was.
Ugh.
It seems like almost every other day there's some big scandal going on with an OnlyFans girl. While a lot of them will get
It is? Well, I've only heard what happened. I didn't know it was OnlyFans.
into things that are legally dubious, there's nothing really dubious about this case as it's just straight up illegal. This is the story of a 23-year-old woman named Kelly Tedford. It has been said that Kelly has made a small name for herself on the platform for what has been called, well, pee fetishism. Throughout some of her videos, Kelly would excite her fans by peeing in various public places. When that wasn't really doing the trick anymore, she moved to peeing on objects. And finally, she started peeing on public objects in stores and even on food. It seems that after enough people on her page finally saw her peeing on grocery store items, someone finally reported her to the authorities through an anonymous tip line. This tip came after she posted a video in which she went to a Monadnock Food Co-op grocery store and dropped her pants to pee all over some walnuts, quinoa, cornmeal, and coconut shreds. The store was already onto her after shoppers had noticed that the items had clearly been peed on and informed the management. So it wasn't too hard for the police to link Kelly to the case. She was arrested in February of 2025 after she uploaded several videos of that sort online. She was charged with criminal mischief as a Class B felony. It turns out that she had costed the grocery store about $1,500 in both damaged goods and deep cleaning expenses. Police found videos of this nature on her account dating all the way back to 2021, meaning she had been doing this for 4 years at the least. She had even gone on to other surrounding towns in the area just to film more of the pee parties. After a while, Kelly was released on her own recognizance and is now all set to appear for an arraignment at some point in the future.
What the fuck? What?
Now, how about the guy who was knocked out by duct tape? While a lot of social media stunts out there are guaranteed to be dangerous, a lot of them aren't really so immediately obvious to be dangerous from the start. However,
So was he like just cutting his hair? Like,
maybe. Probably tried duct taping himself to the wall and made it too tight.
get out of a minute. It's like the, I don't know what it was, like a Mr. Beast thumbnail.
Oh, yeah.
The one where someone stole from him, and then he complained about the stealing, and then he goes on to steal with AI.
However, any stunt really could be dangerous depending on how it's performed, even a stunt involving something as simple as duct tape. An Australian influencer named Lil Golo was fairly known for engaging in all sorts of weird and dumb stunts that would often land him in a bit of danger. When he decided to see how many strips of duct tape he could run through, though nobody really expected this to be the one that would land him in the hospital. At a place called Base Space in Auckland, New Zealand, he decided to strap some duct tape between two bars and see how many strips he could run through, adding more and more strips of tape each time. After the challenge was proving to be a bit boring, with the lower numbers of strips being very easy to run through, he decided to skip the majority of the build-up and jump straight up to 1,000 strips. Buying $400 worth of duct tape, he spread it all out between the two metal bars and attempted to run through. On the first attempt, he hit the tape but didn't break through.
Oh yeah, if he's slamming like that, yeah, I think that's where he gets knocked out. Jeez.
Although he fell down, he was ready to get up and try it again. On the second attempt, he ran face first.
Dude, I think I remember like getting concussion because I fell and the back of my head hit the concrete floor.
First
Fucking
off the
awful.
tape, knocking himself down to the ground and slamming his head on the concrete. He was out cold. Luckily, a doctor was in the area and came over to check him out. As he was drooling and snoring, it wasn't looking too good. An ambulance was called and Lil Golo was taken out to the hospital. The paramedics put him into a neck brace and gave him some drugs to dull the pain. In the hospital, Lil Golo said, You
would think that you should put like a gym at the bottom there or something. Like if the last few takes had you like landing on your back.
Yeah, right? Throw like fucking a mat.
Yeah, but like no, he took no safety precautions or anything. You just kept on going like geez.
I don't remember what happened, and I think I'm just gonna stick to OnlyFans videos.
What the fuck?
That's a second OnlyFans video. What the fuck?
I think I'm just gonna stick to OnlyFans videos. He added that he really thought he could run through all of the duct tape and said he was pretty pissed off at the result. Many users online weren't so entertained by his stunt, with one commenter writing, "I had to wait hours in the emergency room with a perforated bowel that went septic due to chronic understaffing and stretched resources. So it's great to see people injuring themselves for clout on the internet or putting further strain on a failing system." Another wrote, "Waste of tape,
Oh.
waste of tax money, waste of hospital time and resources, waste of oxygen, and waste of mom's efforts to raise this thing." Speaking of danger, how about the story of a snake bite to the penis?
Yes, drinking tea. Anyway, so a snake bite to the penis.
There are a whole lot of different wildlife channels online, with most of them taking a pretty good amount of caution when dealing with things like dangerous animals. However, an Indonesian influencer named Anggara Shoji wasn't the type to really exercise such caution. With about 350,000 subscribers on YouTube alone, he was doing pretty well. He had a channel in which he would often deal with exotic snakes and reptiles, usually out in the wild. For one video, he was doing just that. In the video, we jump right into the main affair with little to no lead-up, a snake biting Shoji on the wiener. The snake seems to be firmly latched on. While at first it appears that the snake may just be biting a fold on his pants, when the camera zooms in, it definitely appears more that it's eating itself a hot dog.
What the
Given the amount of agony and sweat present on Shoji's face, it seems pretty evident that he's feeling the burn. Despite his best efforts to get the snake to let go, he seems to just give up and sit down on the ground. Once the video was shared all over the internet, mainly on Instagram, it amassed well over 17 million views. While I haven't been able to find out what kind of snake this actually is, commenters have speculated that it's a mangrove snake, a mildly venomous snake with some pretty sharp teeth. Maybe someone in my comment section is more knowledgeable about snakes and can tell us how screwed Shoji really was.
Was that like his last video on social media? Like, what the fuck?
I doubt
I'm not
it.
just not good pausing there. Not pausing there.
Yeah.
If it's venomous, then like he's 100% dead.
Mildly. So a lot we can live through for like 24 hours, but there are also some that only leave us like 10 minutes.
Yeah, snakes are wild.
Yeah.
Just
That
that
goes
little
with
thing.
just about anything.
While a lot of stunts are unintentionally dangerous, sometimes people put themselves into danger on purpose with an odd sort of elective, such as the rib removal surgery. Time I really cover a case involving a trans person in any way, it's like giving the comment section a loaded gun to point at my head. This stunt,
You did not have to bring that up. You're talking about someone getting a rib removed.
however, really isn't all that related to being trans or even the general kind of
Yeah.
surgery that might come along with that. This is definitely something that this person kind of came up with outside the box. Emily James, at this point, was no stranger to getting surgery. On social media, she bragged about getting a boob job and talked about facial feminization surgery as well. However, it was a different surgery that really got the public talking. You've probably heard those old rumors about Marilyn Manson getting some ribs removed to go down on himself. Well, maybe Emily here heard some of those same rumors because that's exactly what she did. Maybe for not that reason, but she did. In a procedure that costed about $17,000.
Wait, what? I missed that. What did he say? What did that mean?
Marilyn
The rib
Manson got a rib removed so he can suck himself. Yeah. That was a rumor anyways.
That's
what
exactly what she did. Maybe for not that reason, but she did. In a procedure that costed about $17,000, Emily had a surgeon in Kansas City remove 6 of her ribs in order to make for a smaller waist. In a couple of creepy social media posts, she not only showed the ribs in some sort of biohazard bag, which I probably can't even show on here, but also expressed her interest in turning the ribs into some sort of hellish crown to wear. After the surgery, the Missouri maniac had to wear a corset at all times of day to keep the shape she was going for. She said that the pain was only about a 2 out of 10, which was pretty surprising to most, even showing the scars later on down the line. Creeping people out even further, she wrote, "They let me keep the ribs and I was initially going to gift them to my best friend. I've had people say they would make them into a chew toy or boil them down into broth.
Dude, when I got my tooth removal, I literally just threw that away. Like, well, why would I give that to anyone?
Personally, I think my meat would taste delicious."
Dude, what is going on in this video? I thought this was like all true crime, like all the other videos I've seen from diretrip. What is going on in this one video that I pick?
The one that you pick is the one that just fucking what the fuck's going on?
Later on, Emily did say that she wasn't 100% sure that the surgery had been worth it, saying that she had experienced some complications, but she didn't really specify. However, she did say she liked the visible results. When her comments basically called her crazy, she said, "I know some of your moms walk around with Brazilian butt lifts. How is this any different?"
Huh?
While some
BBL.
people do think
Well, I think removing ribs is dangerous if there's like any injuries you have, then it's like higher likely that your inner organs will get damaged as well.
Like that
Yeah.
just leaves your lungs and heart wide the fuck open just for anyone. Punch, yeah, kick, punch, anything.
You're just getting rid of safety at that point. I think God created ribs just so we can have our own shields and armor.
Yeah. Yeah.
things that are outright dangerous, some people only pretend to do something dangerous, such as a woman who was faking a kidnapping because she was bored.
uh,
Dude, I
Yeah.
thought this like this would be like a little more less extreme, but then again, I see influencers and clouds and all this.
Yeah.
I never even heard of this. Faking a kidnapping. That's how you know that it was not worth shit. It was worth nothing.
Well, you got the people who are like, "Oh, I shipped myself to Brazil or the jungle in that shit."
There have actually been a whole lot of different cases where influencers have faked their own deaths, faked the deaths of others, or at least faked injuries to some degree. Some of them, like the woman in this story, chose a very different sort of crime to fake. An Instagram model in Nigeria
Oh yeah, with what he said to you before, like people faking their death or something. One of the things I've seen recently is people fake breaking into homes as like a prank.
Yeah.
Like
They
how
like break into their own home.
yeah, how
Or
unemployed
like,
do you have to be to fucking fake breaking into someone's homes? I think like backup screaming in a fucking Walmart or something is like far more better than that. And that is still awful to the employees.
I fucking love bathroom screaming. Just loud.
Just probably
Fucking-
look at a harmless pranks compilation later then.
Yeah.
named Victoria Rose, who went by the username WoVicky, decided to post a series of tweets saying that she had been kidnapped. Not only that, but she demanded a ransom for herself. In one tweet, she
Well, Vicky, is that the girl who was on what was it, Dr. Phil? I don't remember
Maybe.
the what was it, Cash Me Outside?
Know what the hell happened to her. I think she tried making music again and then people just did not give two shits.
Yeah, maybe I'm thinking of someone else. Maybe this is a completely different person. Like, well, Vicky just rang a bell for some reason.
she wrote, "I have kidnapped Vicky. She is with me in Nigeria. I am demanding $1 million for her release." Then she simply left her fans to worry about her, call the police, and speculate as to who might have taken her for a while. However, later on she came clean on an Instagram live video, showing that she was alive and well, admitting that she was lying about the whole thing. The reasoning she gave was that she was just bored. She said, "We got kind of carried away with the joke. You know, we just like to have fun and joke. I don't drink or go to the club, so this is how I find my entertainment. You know, it's probably not the best way to do it. I'd probably be like reading the Bible or something like that. The Bible said laughter is good for the soul, so I'd be wanting to laugh, and this is how I find that funny." She went on to
What?
Mm-hmm.
Kidnapping is funny?
Yeah.
You were bored, you just wanted to have a laugh.
So I thought I'd
explain the
cause
fact that she
mass
didn't
panic
go
for
far,
my
saying that she couldn't
fans.
date much because she had such good Christian values that people just found it too hard to relate. She said, "So this is kind of like how I have fun, but you know, we all struggle in different areas, so I'm not saying this was the right thing to do, but I take accountability and ownership. I'm sorry for anyone that I harmed in the process, but it's all love." Then she posted a picture with the man she was dating the very next day. Users flooded the comments to express that they weren't really too happy with the stunt she had pulled, with many of them unfollowing her in disgust. And one other thing that we haven't quite touched on is when people admit to something horrible on their platform, such as admitting to a hit and run on a podcast.
I don't know. This is a podcast. Like, podcasts now are just garbage.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that should be in this video.
Sometimes the crazy thing that people do isn't actually something that's actually done on video or on stream. Some people, a surprising amount actually, have come to admit to previous crimes on their channels, or even on live streams or podcasts.
Yeah, and that does remind me. I think it was just a stream, or it might have been also been in a podcast. I don't remember the streamer, but she had admit to killing a dog, and she was like a vet for animals. So she purposely made the dog die. And, yeah, she admitted to it on stream, and then she got like a bunch of backlash for it. And she said it was a joke or something. You know, it was just
tried playing it off.
That was fucking awful, and I don't think that was like for any attention at all. This one here is just, I don't know.
One of such people was a Portuguese influencer named Tiago Grilla. He is known by people here and there all throughout the country, posted regularly all over social media, and was seemingly pretty well liked by the fans he had. However, this all changed in February of 2025 when, on one podcast, after being asked, "What's a secret you have never talked about?" he fully admitted to getting in a hit and run, saying that he hit a pedestrian with his car and just kept driving. He said that this all happened on a rainy night on a hill, saying that he didn't see the woman before he hit her, adding that he was looking at his phone. It seems that he thought most people would take this admission in a comedic sort of way, but that was far from the case. A lot of people couldn't really tell if Tiago was joking or not, given the delivery. Was the influencer they loved just engaging in a bit of dark humor, or had he maybe possibly killed someone and then fled the scene of a crime? A few days later, the public would get some answers. Tiago's victim came forward, a young mother who still lived with ongoing health problems as a result of the hit and run. Her medical complications were to the extent where she dealt with constant pain and could no longer work. After she came forward, Tiago decided to change up his story. Now he said that he was innocent and that the whole confession was nothing more than a marketing stunt.
So he's like blaming it or making people believe that was like a coincidence. Like if this lady never came up about it, then there's obviously someone would be arrested or something, because you would think that there would be bystanders or something, witnesses.
Stunt. He said that he wasn't involved in the woman's injury in any way whatsoever. He began to post to social media rapidly, most likely in a bid to overwhelm and drown out the critics. It wasn't too long before Tiago was posting pictures of himself at the airport, saying that he was leaving the country for a little holiday due to threats. Most people weren't all too convinced of his explanation, feeling that he was most likely fleeing the country as the police were now looking into him. He said, "Before they start saying, 'You ran away, you can't leave the country,' I left a power of attorney." Most evidence shows that Tiago fled the country for Angola. People aren't really sure why he chose Angola in the end, but many have accepted it, as very little of this story has made sense in the first place. Now it seems that Tiago is possibly going to get hit with charges of omission to provide help and negligent offense to physical integrity, both of which carry a prison sentence of 2 years. It still isn't known why he thought confessing to this crime on a highly publicized podcast would be a good idea when he could have just easily made up some sort of secret. Once again, thank you for watching my video. If you found it interesting, please give it a like, it really helps me out in the algorithm, and feel free to subscribe if you want to see more content like this.
Yeah, totally more videos of where the fuck is what's going on in this video. We got fucking man that got bit in the dick by a snake. We got someone pissing on food. Man committing arson.
Yeah, luckily,
whatever the fuck, this was just pointless.
Yeah.
The fucking duct tape. What do I have to say about this video? Said that Vicky was Nigerian, but she actually only sing Nigeria timely instant. A little correction here. Moral of the story: don't do dumb shit for views.
Yeah.
Shit no worky. You get in trouble. People get in trouble. You hurt people.